God, I feel like the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. So not only am I saying that, I'm also like rushing, trying to get everything done. Hi! Hi! Yes, I know, it's a Thursday, it's not Sunday. I'm sorry about that. But, there's a reason why that is the way it is. But first off, I gotta check shit real quick. I'm late for a very important date! Huh. Oh, hi. Door. Sorry about that, I had to reply to a message. Oh, God. Come on, there we go. Yes, you two, shut the fuck up. I know about my resolution. If you weren't so weird all the time. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, reason I was late on this. So, believe me when I say that I was originally planning on streaming on Sunday night. Believe me, I was. I was all ready to go, but then what happened was that last week my dad went out of town for a few days, and I knew about this, and I thought it wouldn't affect the stream, and it didn't for the most part. However, because my dad was going to be going out of town, that led to me and my brother needing to do stuff around the house while he was gone, which meant taking care of the babies, the dog, and the Kit Kat. And then, of course, settling out to get us dinner and all that. And the problem is that me and my brother did not settle on the time for Sunday. We sort of effed up on that front, and I didn't realize it till after I woke up Sunday, and I was like, oh shit, wait. I never told them what time to get dinner. So, unfortunately, by the time they got home, because they were already gone when I woke up, I was like, and I had no way of contacting them, by the way. I was like, shit. So, that was the first issue. Second issue was that, Dad usually calls at 9, around 9-ish, just to, let us know how he's doing, and just so we can update him on crap. He didn't call at around 9, I actually, waited a half hour, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I panicked, so I'm like, so it's like, oh, fuck. So, unfortunately, the stream had to be canceled, Sunday night, and I'm very sorry about that. I would have, it's like, here's the thing, though, and it's like, I understand that not everyone follows me on Twitter, But unfortunately, it's the only platform I have where I can be like, by the way, this is not happening tonight. I would have let everyone on YouTube know, but unfortunately, the only way to let YouTube know is via the community posts. But the problem, I need to have 1,000 subs before that feature is unlocked. And I'm not even hitting 10. So, there was literally no way for me to alert anyone on the YouTube side of things. And that's no one's fault. It's fucking YouTube because they're like, let's hide an important feature behind your sub count because fuck it, I guess. So, but the thing is that the rescheduling, it wasn't supposed to be tonight, it was supposed to be Tuesday. That's what I settled on. And then Monday, I was like, shit, that's not gonna work because that's when a lot of shit is happening. Oh. Okay, that scared me. Drop frames for a moment. Oh, there we go again. Oh my god, is this really gonna be a thing? Like, listen, I don't mind if it's at the beginning of the stream, but if this persists, it's gonna be like, this is cursed. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking. But yeah, so Tuesday night was supposed to be the rescheduling, but then Monday I realized, fuck, that's not gonna happen. There's still too many things happening Tuesday night that I had to reschedule it to Thursday. And the thing is that I pushed the time to 8:30, but unfortunately I underestimated how much time I had. And that's why it's starting this late. Because I thought I could get one thing done before 8:30, but that didn't happen. So that's why we're starting this late. But yeah, it's like, I was like, I am going to stream tonight if it fucking kills me, because god damn it, it is the last day of September. And I want to go into October with a goddamn horror game. And I'm not gonna let my self-proclaimed curse take it over. But now I extend the question of how is everyone doing? How have you been for the last 2.5 weeks? I hope it's been going well. It's been for me. Outside of, you know, scheduling conflicts and all that. I didn't even check Discord real quick. By the way, the music that you're listening to is obviously the legendary battle from X and Y, meaning versus Xerneas / Yveltal. And basically, in terms of my Kalos, my Pokemon X replay, I have defeated the 8th gym leader. I've defeated Wolfric. And now I just need to get through Victory Road before I'm finally at the League. And honestly, this remix by Glitch City is such a bop. It is so good. Makes you feel like you're at a rave, you know? Just be careful. Just don't get seizures through the strobe lights and crap. But honestly, I wasn't sure if I was gonna play this track or Diantha's remix. But I was like, well, Diantha's remix is a lot more calmer, if that makes sense. A lot more calmer, not as like hype. And I'm like, you know what? I think Diantha's remix will be playing during the break instead of the, instead of the beginning. So, yeah. But man, can you believe it? We're at the finale of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Isn't it exciting? It is so exciting. Because now we just have 2 more parts. We have 2 trial sections, and then that's the finale. That's it. That's it for the first game of the Ace Attorney trilogy. Oh, fuck, right. For those of you who don't know, or, well, at least anyone who's not been on the internet since 2 weeks ago, Deltarune Chapter 2 dropped on the 17th. Which was almost 2 weeks ago. And yes, I played through it. I loved it. Albeit not as much as I loved the first chapter. Not gonna lie. I like the first chapter more than the second. But I still like the second chapter. And yes, I will be playing through that on stream at some point in the future. Not in the next 2 months. 2 months, 3 months. And, God, can you believe that it's like the week, so it's like 2 weeks ago, I was just thinking, alright, I'm just gonna, do whatever the hell I want for the next 2 weeks, because I'm almost done with the writing. Once that's done, I'm just gonna chill. Then Toby Fox is like, by the way, here's chapter 2, on the 5th, it's like, on September 15th, which is, Undertale's, I think, 6th anniversary. Fangamer decides to do a stream where they play through, was it only the first chapter of Deltarune? I think it was. And Toby Fox was there, and Toby Fox was like, by the way, here's chapter 2 for everyone, here's the release date, it comes out on the 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern. By the way, thanks for celebrating my game, y'all! See ya! And I was like, what?! I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I do know, and it was for free too. It's like all you had to do is just go to the website and download it. And I was like, I fucking love him. I did actually read that the reason why, so basically the original plan, right, was that after Deltarune Chapter 1 was released, Toby Fox was planning on, releasing Deltarune Chapters 2 through 5 all at once, and it was gonna be, and you would have to pay for it, which I thought made sense. But apparently, I do know that he was having trouble with Chapter 2 in the beginning, because I think if I remember right, he said something about how he wanted to, change some things that, make them different for Chapter 2, but it didn't prove out to be viable. I remember reading something about how he wanted to overhaul the entire battle system, but it ended up not working out, and so he just went back to it. So that put a setback on it. And the original plan for Chapter 2 of Deltarune, or at least, the rest of the package, was slated to be released late last year, late 2020. But obviously we know what happened in 2020. Basically, that's when Armageddon 2.0 was unleashed. And Toby Fox, I guess, felt really fucking bad for everyone. considering everything, that he was just like, you know what, fuck it, I will release Chapter 2 of Deltarune for free on all platforms. And I thought that was actually really sweet of him to do that, because obviously, due to the pandemic, you know, a lot of people were not doing great financially last year, whether it be because a lot of people got fired or lost their jobs. You know, pretty much financially, we're not doing that great, you know? So I did think it was really sweet for Toby Fox to release Chapter 2 for free because of what had been going on since last year. And I really like that. And I really like that. And it gives more people a chance to try out Deltarune now that there's more than one chapter to play through, you know? But I do know that after that, it's like, okay, he's absolutely going to release chapters. So, when I booted Chapter 2 up, there's now 7 chapters. There's no longer 5, it's 7. And I was like, okay. I was happy about that. So I think if I remember right, now the plan is that chapters 3 and 5 will be a package all on its own that you have to pay for whenever the fuck that gets released. And then chapters 6 and 7 are gonna come after that. That's all I know for sure. But, God, it really fucking sucked when, I couldn't get to Chapter 2 right away, because that was when I was still writing. Like, the moment I heard that, I was like, motherfucker! There's no way I'm gonna get this shit done before Friday. So, of course, when Friday came about, and we were about an hour out from the dropping of Chapter 2, I was like, okay, all hands on deck, I gotta spoiler tag myself. So it's like, I went on Twitter and Tumblr, just blacked out the entire Deltarune tag, so that I didn't get spoiled. And that worked, that really did work. I didn't get spoiled at all, which was great, fantastic. We love it. So, and then it's like, that night, something in me was just like, I really want to play Deltarune, and I basically speed ran through my writing. Like, I only had a little bit of it left over, but I was just like, fuck it, I want to get this done. I want to play Deltarune, goddammit! So I literally, like, went overtime into that writing thing. Which, by the way, ended up being, like, 8,700 words. And I got all that shit done within 2 weeks. At least, because I know it took me a month to finish both renditions. So I was so happy about that. I was tired, but I was happy because it meant, yay, I get to play more Deltarune Chapter 2. And so I did that on Saturday, and I played through it all, pacifist run, and it was great. The ending made me... Holy shit. I'm not gonna spoil it, by the way. I'm not gonna spoil much of anything for Deltarune until we get around to playing it sometime next year. But the ending is very much a, holy fuck, what the hell are we doing? You know? And then, of course, a couple days ago I find out that Toby Fox has not only the Undertale soundtrack on Spotify, but he also released Deltarune Chapters 1 and 2 soundtracks on Spotify. And I'm like, fuck yes. So I've basically been listening to the Deltarune soundtrack nonstop for the last few days, because that music be really good. God, I love Deltarune. I love Ralsei. It's like my fandom, like, the moment I found out that Chapter 2 was gonna be dropping, I immediately changed my layout from Atsushi to Ralsei. And it's still that way. By the way, don't follow me on my fandom Twitter or my Tumblr, because I am reblogging Deltarune spoilers on both platforms. I mean, granted, on Tumblr, I do have Deltarune spoilers as a tag, but tomorrow that's when that shit's gonna be off, because I feel like 2 weeks is enough of a window in which you can play Deltarune and be good with it, you know? So, and for those who do want to play Deltarune Chapter 2, it's up on the website, and you do not need to play through Chapter 1 in order to, you know, you don't need to have save data, pretty much. You just need to understand the story. And I think it's actually listed on the website itself. And you can download it via Steam or Itch.io. I downloaded it via Itch.io because I didn't want to pull Steam up yet. And as for the length, I would say, the thing is, I would not recommend doing it in a single sitting. Like, even I couldn't do that. I had to take several freaking breaks because of, how should I put this? Because of, what the hell's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking. Because of, real life duties, that's it. But I would say that if you can get Chapter 2 done within maybe 6 to 8 hours. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to judge off of how long it took for me to finish through it. It definitely took longer because I took breaks. But I think if I remember right, my Chapter 1 Deltarune stream, which is up on this channel, by the way, took me about 6.5 hours to complete. And that was with me knowing everything. So that's probably the length you want to shoot for, I estimate, for Chapter 2. And for those wondering who have played through Deltarune, yes, I will be trying out the secret boss of Chapter 2. Like, unfortunately, I mean, again, considering that I did try to beat Jevil in Chapter 1, I didn't get to beating him, but I did try him. I'm gonna try him, Mr. Big Shot, in Chapter 2. I just have a feeling it's gonna be a pain in the ass because I died twice in the battle before it. You know, in his first battle. And I hated it. So, who knows? This might... But either way, it's gonna be fun, I guess. Oh boy! It's like I'm ready for the memes, pretty much. I'm ready for the memes. Alright. We have been going for almost a half hour. So I think we should be getting to Phoenix Wright soon. Just trying to think of what else. I honestly don't think there is much else. I think it's just a time to play through Phoenix Wright. Man, I know there are a lot of God, I will admit, a lot of shit was just go- Oh, that's right! Nintendo Direct also happened! Oh my fucking lord. Oh god. Mario Movie Cast! I already knew it was gonna be, animated by Illumination Studios. But that fucking cast... Oh man. When I first watched that direct, I was watching it live. I was losing my goddamn mind when Chris Pratt was revealed to be the voice of Mario. And then you have Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black as Bowser. Oh god. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And I'm like... I was fucking losing my mind when I heard that when I saw that Chris Pratt and Jack Black were in this movie. Oh, fuck. It was hilarious to see Twitter reacting to this as well, albeit with a lot more vitriol. And honestly, I don't blame them because the Mario movie cast really goes to show just how out of touch both Nintendo and the Hollywood industry in general are with reality, I guess? Alright, I'm gonna get the game booted up here while I talk here. Alright. Bye-bye Mozilla... Let's see. Bye-bye Mozilla Firefox. We'll see each other again in the next life. In the next 5 hours. Alright. Anyway, as I was saying, as Steam verifies the installation. So, one of the biggest things about the Mario movie cast was that it was once again another animated movie where the cast was picked mainly on celebrities instead of voice actors. And here's the thing, Kingdom Hearts has proven this to me, is that celebrities don't, like actors, real life actors, you don't know how well that acting skill translates to animation. You know what I mean? Just because you may be a pretty good actor on TV, oh my god, doesn't necessarily mean that, that you are a good voice actor. As Kingdom Hearts 2 proved to me with Terra and Aqua. For those who don't know, Jason Doran and Willa Holland are the voice actors for Terra and Aqua, respectively. However, those were also their first voice acting roles. They've been actors beforehand, but they were not but they are not voice actors. As far as I know, those still are the only voice acting roles that they've got. And you look at Birth by Sleep, you hear how they sound in that, they don't sound great. Granted, they have gotten better, in the games following that, like Fragmentary Passage and Kingdom Hearts 3, but even then, they don't sound that good. And that's because acting does not necessarily mean you're a good voice actor. Hell, I don't even know if Jason Doran and Willa Holland are great actors. I would assume they are, considering they're still getting work and all that. But again, doesn't necessarily mean they're good voice actors. And that's kind of the thing with the Mario movie, is that, all of these people are actors, first and foremost. I know that a couple of them have done voice acting, and I'm pretty sure they're good, and all that, but still, it doesn't translate well. What the fuck? I'm pressing enter. There we go. Oh, I guess because I'm using keyboard? Not keyboard, controller? Oh, hi, Plush! Hey, listen, sorry I'm late. The Ace Attorney one. That is true. Ace Attorney does have a movie, but that's live action. And from what I hear, it's actually a pretty good live action movie. Like, it's obviously not the best. But, it is apparently a very good movie for Ace Attorney. Anyway, so the Mario movie cast pretty much highlights the fact that, companies will literally hire actors based on their marketability as opposed to their actual talent. That was one problem that came from the Mario movie cast. The second one, and this one's gonna be a lot more controversial, is the fact that Chris Pratt is in it. For those who don't know, Chris Pratt is a actor that was, like, pretty much, how should I put this? He was Star-Lord in the, Guardians of the Galaxy. He is Andy from Parks and Rec. And he was also in the Jurassic World movies. He's pretty much the guy that does the whole meme where it's like, he has both of his hands outstretched, and, you know, he's like saying good, good, like, you know that meme? And all that? That's Chris Pratt. And the reason why his very presence in the Mario movie cast is so controversial is because Chris Pratt is a fundamentalist Christian who supports a notoriously homophobic Christian church. Do I need to go any further into that? But yeah, Chris Pratt is not a good person. I mean, I feel like if you are an active participant in a church that is notoriously known to be homophobic, you're not a good person, you know? And of course, he also follows a bunch of right-wing people on Twitter, some of whom are very bad. And all that. So yeah, the very idea of Chris Pratt being in the Mario movie, as Mario, the titular character, it's like, yikes. Like, yikes, you know? But it is, you know, and of course I tweeted out that it's like, it fucking sucks that Chris Pratt... What do you mean it's not true? People have, like... Eric, you're gonna have to show me some evidence for that, because a lot of people are saying that he does follow that church. Okay. I mean, but even then, it's like, even if it turns out that he doesn't follow a homophobic church, he still follows a bunch of right-wing people on Twitter, some of whom are known to be homophobes, so it's like, is it really that worse, you know? And it's like, okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to actually look that up, because, again, I don't read into this, I just believe whatever people say. But still, it's like, but I mean, yeah. But even then, like, that, Chris Pratt follows a lot of right-wing people on Twitter, and the last few years have really just kind of soured me on anybody, like, following right-wing people. On any platform, because God knows they hate my very existence as a member of the LGBT plus community and for being neurodivergent. So... Well, either way, I don't trust Chris Pratt. Oh my god, my friend actually calls Chris Pratt that a crisp rat. And I'm like, man, it's a crispy rat, alright. Anyway. But it is kind of funny how it's like everyone was just like, fuck Chris Pratt, but of course they were praising Jack Black. Granted, Jack Black is a pretty nice human being and all that. And all, you know, and honestly, I think he should have been Mario. You know? I honestly think he should have been Mario. He should have been, you know, the lovable fat plumber, Italian plumber and all that. You know, I mean, granted, I'm not saying that Jack Black is not going to do a good job as... I definitely think Jack Black is going to do well as Bowser and all that. I mean, considering how Jack Black has been handed roles that have seemed ridiculous to him before, and he's somehow managed to, like, what the hell's the word? He's managed to, you know, really sell the role he's played. I honestly think he will do a good job as Bowser. I just think it's a missed opportunity that he's not Mario. But then again, when has Nintendo ever been known to make good decisions? Yes, that was a diss. Because as much as Nintendo, you know, as much as Nintendo is the reason why I love a lot of games, you mean to tell me that they can shut down emulators and then resell these old-ass games for probably 40 or 60 bucks on top of having the subscription service? It's like, excuse me? Fucking excuse me? Like, that is highway fucking robbery. Anyway, so yeah, Nintendo Direct happened. The final Smash fighter. Everyone, of course, is speculating that it'll be Sora, and as much as I would want it to be Sora, it's probably not gonna happen because Disney fucking hates everybody. But of course, I will still be looking forward to that. Who was the last fighter again? It's not Sephiroth, I know that. Sephiroth was not the last fighter. Who the hell? It was not Terry. That was... God, I'm so lost. Who was the last fighter for Smash? It can't be Sephiroth. I feel like it can't be Sephiroth. It had to have been someone else. Oh! But, then of course there was Smash. Bayonetta 3! Excuse me. I'm excited for that one. I'm really excited for that was the moment that the Direct was one for me. I was like, Bayonetta 3. I'm like, okay, we're done. We're good. I mean, part of it is, of course, the sapphic in me. But a part of it too is also because it's like, dude, the Bayonetta games are just fucking fun. You know, they look so fucking fun. And I'm just excited that there is a third one coming out now. It's like, yay, you know? Yay! Now we get to have more half-naked witches. Although some people have been saying that this could be a different Bayonetta. It could be actually a different Bayonetta, you know? But, anyway, we have stalled on for long enough. What happened last time in Part 8 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney? Well, we investigated Damon Gant's office. We got Gumshoe fired. Like, we legit got Gumshoe fired because he was in there investigating with us, and Gant was like, get the fuck out of my office, but before you do that, put your badge on the desk, you're out. And Gumshoe was like, dude, what the fuck? So that happened. So then, of course, we went on, and then we found out that, and of course we know that Lana did not kill Bruce Goodman, but Damon Gant pretty much has Lana under his thumb, and it later turned out, well actually, no, wait, I don't think we found that out yet. But yeah, we know it for a fact that Lana is under the thumb of Damon Gant for some reason. And then, of course, in the trial we find out that, she is so under his thumb that she outright confesses to the fact that she murdered Bruce Goodman and almost fires us as her lawyer. What the fuck? So, that happened. However, before we can figure out what happened to Bruce Goodman, me and Phoenix and Edgeworth then decided, like, okay, we need to figure out what the hell happened to the SL9 incident, where Neil Marshall was killed. So, turns out Emma was a witness to that murder. However, she was never called to trial. So, Edgeworth calls her up to trial, and after several testimonies, turns out Dark was not the one who killed Neil Marshall. It looks like it was Emma that killed Prosecutor Marshall via accident. Lana is pissed at us. Rightfully so, because we did just blurt to the whole court that Emma may have killed someone. And then, of course, when we all but proved that Emma may have been the one that killed Marshall via dying message that he possibly left behind in his blood, Gant decides to rub salt in the wound by pretty much telling Edgeworth that, by the way, Edgeworth, you sent an innocent man to jail and got him executed based on forged evidence. How does that feel? So, pretty much, we're both up Schitt's Creek. Edgeworth is probably gonna get fired at the end of this case because of everything. Lana's probably never gonna trust us again after what happened. But of course, you never know. So now we just gotta figure out what the hell is going on. So now... let's do this. Alright, February 25th, 12:06 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Well, we're immediately starting with an apology, so that's good. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Again. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. I mean, listen. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Well, jeez. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Goodbye. Wait, Detective Cumshoe, what is it? What is it, please? Please, we're gonna get fucked! Alright. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Before or after? Before or after we accused her sister of murder? Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. Really? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You can at least study some evidence law, really! Before or after the evidence? Alright. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. From Miss Sky, explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Let's take a look at that, shall we? If I can. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now though. Yeah. Alright. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. So they give us this after the trial. Well, technically the trial's not over yet. We're just taking a recess because, after Gant did his thing, the audience, right? It's not the jury, it's the audience, right? The people who just view the trial. The audience went into an uproar, which is valid, considering. So the judge had to call for a temporary recess. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found that she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. Oh. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. Oh yeah, that's also what we found out, is that, I mean, pretty much the reason why she was photographed murdering Goodman was mainly due to circumstance. He was already dead when she did that. It was pretty much just to, you know, do it. To give evidence, you know? To create a witness, I guess? And that's how she cut her hand, was by stabbing the knife into his dead body. Well, I mean, it's the same in even normal court, an American court, is that there's always there's an audience. Is that there's an audience, to, you know. I mean, granted, I don't know why the fuck you would want to go to a trial. I mean, if it's a criminal justice thing, like, you know, it would make sense if, like, you know, defendant and victims' families are there. Like, that makes sense so that they can see justice being delivered. I mean, I guess that could be a reason why there are just random-ass people in the audience. But it's not like it's a weird thing. Like, even in American courts, like, there is plenty, like, trials can be open to the public. I think it's just to see what's going on up close and personal, you know? Not to mention that, in Phoenix Wright, there is no jury. This is based off of the Japanese court system, and in Japan, verdicts are given via the judge. So, who knows? That means the real killer is still out there. Better than Judge Judy. It's funny how a lot of people refer to Judge Judy as one of the best judges. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Alright, February 25th, 12:52, District Court, courtroom number 9. Oh yeah, Emma also passed out, so she's probably in the infirmary. Alright. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. I was just imagining him being like, I will face them head on. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. I've never watched Judge Judy, so I would not know. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. Oh. Okay.
You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
That is out of the book. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Well, you don't trust me. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial.
Very, very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Alright. Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright.
Alright. I think I know who it is, but just in case I'm gonna pull up the walkthrough. Wait, am I on day 2? No, this is day 3. What the shit? Why are we testimony? Wait. Wait a minute, wait a fucking minute. Yeah, okay, this is the wrong day. I thought... Why did it take me that direction? Why the fuck did it take me in that direction? Excuse me for a moment. Why was I on the second day of the trial? I meant to go to the... Okay. Alright, we're almost done. There we are. Alright, now we're on the appropriate page. Oh, what the fuck? Why did it take... Jesus Christ. Why did it take me all the way down there? My phone is betraying me right now. Let's see. Okay, that was the wrong person, so I'm actually glad that I didn't, so I'm actually glad I checked the walkthrough. Yes, babe?
You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial's as good as over.
The defense calls... The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Could I call forth Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way, considering how he has fucked me very, very badly in the end. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Are we ready for the final battle, guys?
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy. Are you sure you want to do this?
I said name and occupation, sir.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. That voice crack. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto! What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
We'll just have to find out, won't we? Won't we, Plush? Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
No, I think not. There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh? Like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
I see. Son, either you're very brave, or very foolish.
I like to think I'm both.
You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. Man, you gotta love corruption, huh? The thing is, though, is that, like, well, I guess then again, I don't know about the Japanese court system. I know that in America, like, witnesses can plead the fifth if they feel that their testimony will incriminate them in some way. But I don't know if that's the same thing in Japan. I'm stupid and brave, so what of it? Why is that every defense attorney in this fucking series? What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Got it.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. What the fuck?
Okay. Alright, witness testimony, SL9 incident.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dork was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Nia, who the hell is Nia? When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast.
Alright, let's find out what really happened.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day.
Chata!
As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Ha ha! To make a long story short, we fucked up. That power outage didn't help either. Chotto! Tagging the bathroom. What the fuck does that mean? So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
Wow, that's dark. What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. Jesus!
That's not funny, dude.
Wow, that's really kind of fucked. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. That was a really fucked up thing to say. Chotto! Man, I understand some people cope with gallows humor, but fuck, man, you don't say that about someone. Could you tell us what you saw? Well, I know what tagging the bathroom is. I know what tagging is, but I'm just wondering, like, what does that have to do with the game? I didn't say anything about that. Excuse me. It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Man, don't say it like that. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Damn it. I was gonna accidentally say Damien. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. Chotto! How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... Excuse me.
You found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier... Excuse me. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. Enough about that. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Chotto! So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you deaf? I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright.
Yes, I know.
If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Or maybe at me.
Worthy. Always the smooth talker.
But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence. But that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident.
Alright. Let us review the walkthrough on this evidence. Bum 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 bum. Fifth statement. Okay.
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Igiari!
Alright. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you can't back up.
Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Phoenix, I think you're kind of fucking yourself in the butt here, bud. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. By the way, should I remind people that, we were there in his office, but he did not give us permission to search his office. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Wow, why are you trying to foreshadow the future games, huh? Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? Iggyati.
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured Dick will receive his due punishment in time. What? Sorry, bud! What the fuck, pal? I'm going to die!
If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Why is that for exposure thing? Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Man, Damon Gant really is a boomer. Actually, how old is he? Okay, we'll have to look at the profiles when I get to them. Evidence and forgery. Here we go. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment. And a list? Alright, how old is Damon Gant? 60. He is totally a boomer! He's totally a boomer! Fuck yeah! Man, he would be a boomer! For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Boomer Gant. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. I'm so scared, like I haven't been facing consequences my whole life. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy. In return, though, I know, that place... Why is this sounding like a date? Why is this sounding like a date? I knew these two had a thing going on! Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic or gay? Probably both. Evidence and forgery. Cross-examination time. Alright, for all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Chotto! I'd appreciate it if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Phoenix, he's not wrong, though! Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cow ranch. Oh my god. Phoenix, don't be one-upping this man. I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? I tipped a cow over. Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Rito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Well, that's pretty much the whole police force in a nutshell, but then again. Listen, we know we've been known that the police have been corrupt, alright? I think it's pretty much an open secret at this point. I think the only people who don't believe that are bootlickers at this point. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. Chotto! What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. Wait a minute. Igiari! If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery... I'm not through speaking yet, Rito, so shut up. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Chotto! Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Igiari! Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right? Yes, babe?
The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Oh, you called me clever! Don't get used to it.
Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Rito. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Chotto! How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent, and because I'm a dirty fucking liar. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. Yeah. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? No, I don't. What is it? Oh. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Chotto! Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh! The resolution of the SO9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, Righto, you dumb son of a bitch. That was a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SO9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah, fuck! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There! It's out in the open now. I'm a horrible piece of shit. Aji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. Fucking hell.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Giotto! Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? Fuck her. If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. God, he really is a fucking boomer. He totally believes corporal punishment is a real effective tactic. Oh my God. God, he is such a fucking boomer!
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out?
Probably not. Oh, fuck. Jesus, my controller. Trying to... What? The fuck? No, I don't want to open up Game Bar. What the fuck did I just do? Yep, I was fucking right. Point out accomplice. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Alright. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. I don't... When have police ever been that? No. Yes, like, okay. I know I'm giving giving the police force a lot of shit. Like, here's the thing. It's more the system and, of course, you know, the assholes in the police force I'm giving shit. I know that not everyone joined the police force so that they could exert power. I know this. I know not every person on every cop is a bad person. I know that a lot of them are just trying to do good, but the system just doesn't allow that. I get it, alright? But I'm still allowed to give them shit.
That's not what I mean. For God's sakes.
Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Well, the only person he would give a fuck about. Lana. Cry? Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. The defendant? You really want to go about this, huh? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
Excuse me. He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Phoenix just face palms, just like, no, Your Honor!
Oh, wait. Alright, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind!
Yes! Admit it, Chief! You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana... She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean?
Hey, don't threaten him in front of me, asshole! What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What?
Excuse me.
Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder, that's impossible!
Yeah, but cops murder people every day! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. What? There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Fuck.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question. I think you can do this. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
As soon as I can find it. Could I?
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. Septuple 7. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number, I know it. Oh, you do ya? What? How do you know that? Whoa, I'm dropping frames like crazy. Okay, give it a moment. Oh dear, that's not good. Come on, get through it, get through it. Yeah, this is why I don't like streaming on weeknights. Still, we're gonna get through this whether we do it through buffering or not. Alright. The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was Septuple 7. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime! Oh my god. Come on, Buffer. Come on, Buffer. Oh dear. Man, I think Gant's trying to interfere with the... I think Gant's trying to interfere with the internet, guys. He doesn't like that we're trying to get him sent to jail. Okay. Alright. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. Thanks, babe. But right now, the court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not! Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days! Iggy! You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Iggy. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Alright. He had to meet him for this. Right? Yep. Cry! Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it.
How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. You're damn right. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes! Now that you mention it, I might have done some Igiotti.
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
Man, look at that sprite. I think that's the only time you see it in this trial. Chief Gant! You didn't!
No, I didn't!
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. Igiotti.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems.
Still, you're the chief of police.
You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. Let's see. To move the victim's body, the Chief Gant used this. Could I? This is how we moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... Oh, I know exactly what he did. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Here.
What is with the frame all of a sudden? Let me try something real quick. I'm gonna exit out of Discord on the desktop, see if that does anything. Doesn't look it. Sorry, I'm just looking at my frames per second here, and I'm not even hitting 20.
After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did. Because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Man. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something! I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. Igiotti! But the cross-examination isn't finished yet! Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Igiotti.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. Okay. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? Oh. Shit. There we go. I have no proof. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Edgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. Man, you fucked up really bad. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Igiotti!
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness! In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. Oh my God. But Chief Gann has invoked his right to refuse to testify! There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Shit. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... Could I?
The defendant? Miss Lana Skye!
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task? To dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. This man really is getting away with threatening someone in full view of the judge. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. This man really do be threatening people out in plain view. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Babe, I think we're fucked. February 25th, 2:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry, pal. I've already decided where to work now. At your office! My office?
Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean... Maya? Maya!
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now.
Chief Gant's done it again. How is he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too?
Emma! You mean he loses his right to say anything, too?
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow
relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man! And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
You're goddamn right. To be continued. Here comes the intermission.
Da-da-bum. Yup. Last part of the trial, babe. Baby. Let's see.
And of course that means we take our intermission now. Because we're in for a long one, boys. Alright. Man, we're not even 2 hours in. That's good. Hopefully the fucking... Hopefully we don't die again. Man, I will be very surprised if we manage to finish this before, what the hell's the word? Before, midnight. Do 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 do. If frames are dropping right now, I am very sorry, but can't do anything about that. Here we go. Oof, my computer is lagging pretty fucking bad. There we go. Whoa, okay. All right. Well, we're just about done, people. We just gotta get there. Alright, I do need to go to the bathroom real quick. As I, of course, check Twitter real quick. Alright, so we will be taking a quick break. Get some drinks, get something to eat, and so on and so forth. And then after that, we will finish off case 5. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Man, that took longer than I thought. Unfortunately, I can't really get anything to eat because the only thing I want to eat right now is chocolate. But unfortunately, if I want to voice act, I can't eat chocolate. That's gonna mess me up. Of course I am on Twitter. And of course the second thing that's trending is Sora for Kiss Smash. Again, I don't think that's gonna happen because unfortunately, because it's like, of Disney, which is, it's so weird to me that Disney actually owns Sora. I mean, I know it makes sense that Disney does own half of Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts is so Disney-centric, I guess. But it's like, Sora's not a Disney character. He's he's Nomura's character, basically. That's one of his babies. So I don't understand how Disney can own Sora. It's like, it's because it's like any of the like pretty much like any character that's not from a Disney property, I feel like is like should belong to Square Enix and by extension Nomura. Or at the very least, the Kingdom Hearts characters should belong to Nomura. I know some Final Fantasy characters belong to him as well. But it's like, but still, it's like, but either ways, I guess Disney has a foothold with fucking Sora, and I guess we'll never get him in Smash, no matter how much I may want it, because, oh my god, that would be fucking amazing. But I mean, again, it's like, it would be such an amazing thing, right? If Sora was a part of Smash. And I just imagine the fucking uproar, right? I just imagine the uproar when it comes to Sora being in Smash. Because it's like, oh my god. Because one of the running jokes of Kingdom Hearts is that Nomura's gotta find a way to make each Disney World canon in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Because, and that's pretty much like what everyone's kind of dreading if Sora gets into Smash is that, oh no, Nomura's gotta find a way to make Smash canon in terms of fucking Kingdom Hearts. When the Toy Story World was announced for KH3, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I remember that Nomura said something about how it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is like the shit in Kingdom Hearts 3 is taking place. I think if I remember right, he said it was in between the first and second Toy Story movies, and I was like, excuse me? And of course we know that the Monsters Inc. world, that takes place after the first movie. Although I don't know if the series was a thing at that point. What the fuck is that? Oh, damn it. I forgot about that. Sorry, I'm checking shit right now. Oh my god. It's actually hilarious. So, I said that Sora was the first thing was the second thing trending. The first one was, of course, the new Venom movie. And I just saw a thing on YouTube that said that Venom was one of the worst superhero movies, and I'm like, Venom's not trying to be a superhero, though. I mean, listen, I am not a comic books fan in the fucking slightest. But as far as I'm aware, Venom is not a superhero. Like, I know he's considered to be a villain to Spider-Man, but the thing is that, like, I mean, is he a villain, though? Like, in the general context? Like, listen, the only thing I know of Venom is that he and Eddie Brock are a thing. They're a couple. God, I remember when the second movie was announced, one of my friend retweeted a comic, and I think it was an official comic too. And I looked at it because, like, you know, because it is kind of interesting to see, like, the ship art of this, considering, and it's an actual fucking thing, I know that, and it's interesting, because it really does take the whole term of monster fucking to an extreme, and it's like, you want to know what it is! So I looked at it, and I'm reading it, and the thing is, right, it's an official comic, so of course there's no sex, you know, otherwise they would not have sold it to the public. But I'm looking at it, I'm reading it, right, and it's G-rated, but it is so easy to tell that there is sex going on, like, it's metaphorical, it is, but these two are fucking! They are fucking! And it's like, I read it, and I was like, they posted this! It is so easy to tell! It is so easy to tell that this is porn, this is metaphorical porn that I'm reading! Honestly, that's one of the, like, seriously, I love that kind of shit. Because it's like, obviously, if you want to sell it, you can't. If you want to sell a graphic thing, you can't. And you want it to have that, it's gotta be metaphorical. Because otherwise, it won't be sold in public, because, you know, kids. But it is fucking amazing. I love that kind of shit. Oh, but honestly, though, like, all the Venom ship art I saw over the last couple years, it's all really cute. It's fluffy. And I'm just like, this is adorable. I mean, and I kind of get it. I get the idea. I get the concept behind monster fucking, right? Because, I mean, listen, some people have those kinks, alright? Some people have those kinds of kinks and all that. You know, and it really does, I think, you know, it really does settle into the whole thing of fantasy and all that. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like, granted, I mean, yeah, there are the ramifications of what would happen if this were a real thing, but considering it's not, well, it's fine, you know? But I think, but I think a lot of it also kind of comes down to the fact that, not to the fact, but to the thing that monsters are, you know, monsters are used to represent certain people in our world, and that's honestly the furthest I'll go, because I feel like this is not a combo that I can do. But I think specifically in the whole thing of Venom and all of that. I mean, I do know that he's supposed to be a symbiote, right? Like, he cannot live without a host. Now, granted, I don't know what the hell the catalyst is for having him and Eddie Brock fall in love with each other, but I definitely imagine that the whole thing of, like, these two spending every waking moment with each other together, and I think the very idea of having a symbiote, I guess, know you so intimately, both physically and emotionally, like, that sounds very ideal. Like, an ideal in which that I don't think a lot of people can ever get to that extent, you know? That being said, I am looking forward to the resurgence of this once the movie comes out tomorrow. I forget if they said it was going to be... I know it's showing in theaters, but I forget if they said it's going to be showing, streaming as well. Man, I do find it funny that, like, when the first movie came out, they tried so hard to market it as a horror, and it's like, well, that didn't work now, did it? And then I heard later on that Sony even knew what the audience wanted, and they reworked the trailer to be a romantic comedy. And it's like, that's how you know, like, and it's like, that's how you know, like, that the majority of your audience are, like, monster fuckers. Oh, jeez. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm still getting that. Alright. I'm trying to think of what else there is. I know that I'm gonna discuss more of this towards the end, so I don't want to talk about it here. But The Letter is probably gonna be the only horror game we're gonna be playing in October, because that's gonna be a blind playthrough too. Because I don't know what the fuck to expect. But I do know that afterwards, you know, that after October, we're not going to be jumping into Phoenix Wright Justice for All. I want to give that a little bit of a break. I do know that I do want to, I think, like, and honestly, I was really thinking about this. I think what we're gonna do is that for the next after October, you know, meaning for November and December, unless stated otherwise, I think those are gonna be Katawa Shoujo streams. I really want to replay that game. And it's something really light and fluffy, you know, because I doubt we're not gonna go through 1 out of 5 girls' roots in those 2 streams. Like, that would take way too fucking long. But at the very least, we need something light and fluffy, you know? And I'm pretty sure that in those 2 streams, we're not gonna get into the super deep emotional stuff, so we're gonna be fine for that. And then after that, then we're gonna be jumping into Chapter 2 of Your Turn to Die. And then because I'm pretty sure Chapter 2 is probably gonna end with a lot of fucking angst and tragedy, we're probably gonna, then after that, we're gonna jump into something more lighthearted, and then, like, who knows, maybe that'll be the next Deltarune stream, is after Your Turn to Die, Chapter 2. And all that. Because at least Deltarune has its lighthearted, is mostly lighthearted. It has its moments of seriousness, but at least it's interspersed with moments of comedy, you know? And then after that, we'll figure out what comes next. I do want to play more, I do want to have one more stream of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon randomized. No, it's just that, like, I wanna get the art for that done before, you know? I know I gotta talk to my friend about that. But then again, I don't know when the stream will be, and I don't want to rush them, so it's like... I'll get to them at some point for the art, so I can feature it on my, on the stream itself. Because it's really freaking cute. It is really freaking cute. You will not believe how cute it is when I post it on the stream for that one, so... I'll get to them at some point when the time gets closer. But for now, expect at least another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon stream in the near future. I mean, I would play it after the letter, but the problem is that I don't want to be stressed out. And the last 2 streams of that have had me screaming because I'm getting my ass handed to me. So, yeah. Oh, boy. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck to expect from the letter. I'm a little scared that, like... I don't imagine it'll have anything I need to censor. At least I hope not. Because otherwise that would suck. Granted, I don't think YouTube's gonna do a goddamn thing against me because, when have they ever been fair for their, like, judgment, you know? But still, it's like, you never want to run the risk. Oh, there's some of that rain. What does that mean? I can't read that. God, it is so weird sometimes, like, scrolling through YouTube and you just get some of the weirdest fucking videos recommended, and it's like, why? Why am I getting this? Alright. Alright, let's retweet this real quick. Me and my stupid ass jokes. I retweeted the link to the stream on Twitter. I quote tweeted it and I put down, "Corruption in the police force? Who knew?" Alright, let's get back into it. Yes, Firefox, thank you. Who knew? Okay. Alright. God, I think one of the best things I'm gonna like is I'm hoping the letter will run smoother on the computer than the Phoenix Wright, where I don't need to, like, have the, overlay. Oh, whoops. I saved again by accident. Alright. Alright, February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 9.
Alright. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. Witness testimony.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I am sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright! You've gotta help her! She's sacrificing herself because of me! But what if she's telling the truth? She's not! I know my own sister! Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony! Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Lana. I worked alongside Gant for years.
Chata!
How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia.
Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why.
There's no truth to this blackmail theory.
Chata!
But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And
I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
Chata!
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Lana...
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Chota! You say you did this all by yourself.
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What?! But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident!
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes.
I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body. Chota! You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound?!
And then you moved the body!
But why? Why would you do that?
You, of all people, should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you move the body? Well, we know why she planted the knife. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Chota! Pieces of the jar? You mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened.
Well, that doesn't make sense, though.
Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Chota! So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened!
In any case, As a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone! I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. I worked alongside him, blah blah blah.
I think I know what I have to present. At which statement? I'm on Twitter by accident. That's Discord. Oh my god, did I get rid of the fucking walkthrough like an asshole? No, okay. Like, I don't want this to go on for forever. Yep, I was right.
Iggyati!
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so.
And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Order! Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
Jar and witness testimony. Jar and message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, and so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
I am stumbling over my words today. Alright. Cross-examination.
Alright, I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar.
Chota!
So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Wow, fuck you, dude!
But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally, I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out.
Chota!
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
Excuse me. To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
Chotto!
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lana! I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all.
Chotto!
Well, actually, no, that's not right either.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me.
Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go.
I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
Well, that's not true because the last piece was in Gant's safe. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
Chotto! But we'll present that when we get to it.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
No, not really.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you.
No shit, Phoenix!
Still, she's not doing this the right way.
Ah!
I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Alright, I think I know what to present. Is it the unstable jar again? Because it says here the final fragment was found in his safe. Whoops. I don't know what the fuck I just did. Yeah, I was right. I was fucking right. Iggy! What the hell was that way? Lock, please. Thank you. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it! She really didn't know! There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you!
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Iggy! I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
I don't care, Your Honor!
Iggy.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that!
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
Igiari!
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
He doesn't want to believe it.
Wait. I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
What the fuck?
Wait a minute. What if
we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, right?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time.
Actual crime scene, witness testimony. We're getting to the heart of it, people. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor sword.
You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. Well, the only evidence she gave us was this. Which we still can't examine.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Oh, there it is. In really low quality. Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw this crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Crime scene photo taken. Crime scene from the case 2 years ago taken.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest! Could that be...
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this?
This is a handprint, isn't it?
But it has Emma's fingerprints on it, though.
That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whose ever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints. They're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
Excuse me. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the pseudo... Hold it! Oh, shit.
Well, that didn't work now, did it?
Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Iggyati.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
Oh, never mind. This was also the only other time.
Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait! You mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
God fucking damn it. Stupid camera. Sorry, God.
No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as a murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Nope! Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant. You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! The conclusive evidence! No I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why didn't you show them? We found it together!
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto.
This is not good.
Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? What do you think? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her!
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky.
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why? For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. Igiari.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too?
Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
Sorry, I just saw that. Let's see. Okay. Now I can do it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Wait. That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Wait, does that still make sense? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Man, being portrayed as a murderer is so awful, guys. Oh my god.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Show evidence. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Could I? Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes! At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that.
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted.
The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Could I? Emma Sky!
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Lana's not gonna be happy. You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murderer on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
Hold it! How could you? You bastard!
Miss Sky.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't!
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy! Not only this trial, but your career, too! You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Keep talking. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy! What's the matter, cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you were absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? Nuh-uh. No. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Damn it, this is a really serious moment. Kurai! And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Fuck. Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh! But that piece of cloth! No blood. Wait. There's no blood on it! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No! This is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finally all over. Not yet. We're not done yet. We still got a little bit more to go. Objection! Oh, look at this man. That was close, Rhino! You almost had me!
Alright.
Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Oh, is it now?
Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Reggie? Earlier, all Rhino here concealed that piece of cloth.
And we're getting a flashback.
So then, what's your excuse, Rhino? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair!
Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last lap's on you, son!
Just keep talking. Just keep talking. You corrupt piece of shit.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
Ha! So the evidence is illegal. Iggy already shut the fuck up.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Wudgie! Don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't really believe... Iggy.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
I was about to present the picture.
Could I?
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Sweating now, huh, aren't you? Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Objection! Igiotti.
Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you! Damon Gant.
Whoops.
Ugh! You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes! Yes!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you!
Oh, this is supposed to be going faster. Oh, there you go. That was super slow. Excuse me. Sorry, currently checking Twitter. Right. Alright. I'm gonna put that there just in case. Alright. Alright. I gotta take a drink real quick. That was a lot on my throat. Alright.
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing
Wait, I was about to say that in Jake Marshall's accent.
That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me.
Oh my. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking out the evidence out, he said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. And you killed him with it. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
Oh, the bloody handprint! Because, remember, we couldn't figure out the fingerprints because it was possible they were wearing gloves. And look at what he's wearing now! Probably the same fucking gloves.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry! I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. That was just a blow.
Leaving the prosecution's car aside.
How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments in the glove.
Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy. Why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Rhino here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
And that's that for Damon Gant. There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence, up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top.
Aw, look at that smile.
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky.
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing. Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job.
Aw, you being a tsundere, babe? In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. Now let the confetti fly! That is all. This court is adjourned.
Ah, we finally made it! Now we just need to get through the credits. Holy shit, this was a long trial. Look at that time. February 25th, 5:03 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Holy shit, we were in there for like... How many hours was that? 8? At long last, it's finally over.
Emma?
Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I could see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. You know, I did my best too.
But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, god damn it, I did it again for the third time. Jesus Christ. Oh. Guess I am, yet again. I'll come back later. Toodaloo. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it now? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I've said this for the 20th time. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana!
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Oh, it's fine. Well, I won't tell if you won't. I guess!
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis! I asked Gan to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I can make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me!
No.
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you.
Sis!
I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry.
But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now.
You're happy?
Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have!
Oh, Emma. Emma!
Aw, look at this. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make... Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
Babe, where the fuck were you? Where was he hiding?
just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth!
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Babe! Come over here and celebrate with us!
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. Easy for you to say. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right.
You despise criminals! I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth...
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah! What the fuck is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about!
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. This.
Could I? That's the picture I drew!
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth!
If you'll excuse me. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Love you! Edgeworth! What will you do now?
Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. I can't just help you with that, or... Edgeworth. I'll be waiting for you in court. And at home. Farewell.
I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon.
It seems we both have a lot to learn, and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you.
Scientific investigation!
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
Thanks, sis! I will!
And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Oh dear, the lag! The lag! a journey to rediscover myself.
Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
Way to go, detective! I didn't know you had a wild side!
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill.
Huh? What?
What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal.
Huh? What? Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Huh?
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Iggyari, I object! We're at the credits.
I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. Aw. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Aw. But I feel like that's kind of conflict of interest, but okay.
We're finally done with case 5, guys. Oh my god, my throat is dying. Of course, we still have the credits, but we managed to complete this in under 4 hours. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Damn. Yup, that's what they said. It just goes to show. You can't shake me off that easily. Yeah, you really can't. Oh, fuck. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy! Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard! My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe.
Yeah, we don't really have a lot of witnesses, do we? Oh god. Oh, here comes the slowdown, babes. Yeah, that's relatable. I know we've got something concerning Edgeworth, but is he the last one? Or do Angel and Jake also get one? Oh, we do get one, okay.
What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this into me. She's seen one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? No.
Like, you were giving them water in the first place. I feel like you were giving them whiskey or bourbon. Okay, we do get one with Angel. That's good.
Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
Brandon Gay, huh? Okay. Oh, the judge, okay.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see. What was his name again? Mr. Left?
Oh, for God's sakes, Judge.
Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no! I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go!
Bone Global Bound or Bone? Global Solutions. I remember in the DS version, you could actually, like, spray all the, you could actually, like, so what they're doing right now is they're, like, they're you know, powdering the whole screen and then blowing it off the dust. Maya!
Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Miss Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick.
But in the DS version, you could actually do this by yourself. And, well, actually, no, I think it was just the credits, but then when you would get to the characters, you would do it, you would do the fingerprint stuff, and when you blew it off, it would show off a portrait of the character in the fingerprint powder, you know? And I thought that was actually really neat. I can understand why they didn't do it here, though. Because the thing is that the fingerprint stuff kind of utilized the two screens that the DS had, and obviously this is Steam, so... Not to mention, like, how the hell would you be able to, hook up a microphone to this?
Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on?
By the way, we're not gonna get an answer to that until the next game. Emma!
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Jeez. One last examination scene. Oh, look at that. That's cute. Achievement unlocked. Rise from the ashes. Hell yeah. All right. Alright, let's get blah 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 up. I can't speak today. We did it though. We finished case 5. And with that, we finished Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. The first game in the trilogy. God, I got scared. I thought that said I wasn't, like, streaming. I was like, what? Okay. All right. What? The fuck you mean? I'm not buffering. Sorry, YouTube is giving me a message that says I'm buffering. And I'm like, I'm not experiencing any drop frames though. What the fuck? I think YouTube just hates me. But then again, when has that ever been a thing? I'm not buffering though. I shouldn't be. Oh, fuck it. It's fine. Again, it's not the first time YouTube has been totally wrong in its assumptions. But still, we fucking did it. We completed Ace Attorney. And on the and just after October 1st. Feels good. Alright, so I already said that what? Yes? No, Steam! Speaking of which, I'm gonna exit out of Steam real quick before I forget. But still, I already discussed my plans for the next game in the series, Justice for All. That won't be started until next year. So, do not expect that for the rest of the 2021. So now the plan for next month. Because I don't know how long the letter is going to be, I'm going to be trying to take as many chances as I can to play the letter next month as I can, you know? So basically, my plan, right? I'm not going to be streaming this Sunday. We're not doing that. It's too soon, and I want to have some time off. However, the first letter stream is going to be next week on October 8th at presumably the same, well, I might push it to 8:30 again, because, yeah. But yeah, so the next stream will be October 8th at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know how far we're gonna get into it, and I don't know how long. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even know if this game has multiple endings. I'm assuming it does, because it's a visual novel, but you don't know, pretty much. But, yeah. God, I honestly don't know why the fuck YouTube is telling me that, like, there is not enough, like, video, but it's like, I'm not dropping frames at all. But yeah, and so then after that, and then I think what I might do is, we're probably going to be doing every Friday and Sunday until the letter is finished. Which seems like a lot, and it is. But who knows, maybe by doing that, we'll get it done early, and then we can just take the rest of the month off. Oh yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So that's the gist. That's the gist. And the good thing is about the letter is that it is, for the most part, voice acted. I don't know how voice acted it is, but I do know there is voice acting in it. So that means I'm not going to be putting on fucking voices and killing my throat in the meantime, which is good. And I do think it is a murder mystery too, so I'm like, ooh, you know? I get to show off, like, my knowledge of true crime. But then again, I've kind of been flexing that throughout the entirety of Ace Attorney. Anyway, I think it's about time that we start getting off. It is 15 to 1, and this has been an almost 4-hour stream, which is good. Just under 4 hours, so thank you all for coming. I'm sorry that this was on a Thursday instead of a Sunday, but life just gets in the way sometimes. And yeah, so thank you for so hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you all again on Friday, October 8th. So, have a good night. Stay safe. We're still in a fucking pandemic, even if we are slowly coming out of it with vaccinations. And all I have left to say is goodbye. So, goodbye.